Congratulations to Baylor basketball. We are all in awe of what we saw last night. It was essentially done the first minute that Baylor scored. And that's the way it just went. Suddenly it was 9-0, then it was 11-1, then it was holy crap. And they did everything right. They did everything right. They played the game intensely on both ends of the floor. They are just a stupendous basketball team, and they are the first team to win the men's basketball national championship from the state of Texas since the Don Haskins Glory Road Texas Western UTEP Minor, however you want to put it, basketball team. It had been since 1966 that a team from the state of Texas, we all know Phi Slamma Jamma came close, never got past NC State and Jim Valvano, one of the most incredible runs in college basketball history, and instead, it is Baylor, the first team to win it from the state of Texas, a team that was struck by COVID right in the middle of the season, and they come out of COVID hell. I mean, the amount of games that they missed, not just because of themselves, but because of the other teams that they were playing. And then we all know what happened in the state of Texas that couldn't handle a massive snow and ice storm. Baylor dealt with all of that. Came out of their conference as a 1 seed and pretty much boat raced the competition, including the opponents that came into last night with an opportunity to win it all without losing a single game at all. And they took Gonzaga and placed them over their collective knees and spanked them. You could not have drawn it up for Baylor any better than the first television timeout. With 4 minutes into the game, they had a 10-point lead. Gonzaga had yet to score from the field. They had one free throw, and Jalen Suggs was nailed to the bench with 2 fouls and no points. As a matter of fact, how good was Baylor's defense last night? 14 turnovers of Gonzaga. They just absolutely shut down much of their perimeter game. Suggs did wind up with a nice night from the floor in terms of his, total points, but the final score with Suggs scoring 22, the highest scoring team in all the land got 70 on a garbage 3 at the very end. And how good was Baylor's defense last night? It led to transition baskets. They just were lightning fast on the floor. They were quicker, and they came out. And we were wondering how Gonzaga was going to come out. We talked about it with Jim. Jim talked about it. We talked about it with Jim. We talked about it with the guy who used to say we talked about it with Jim. We talked about it with Jim Nance. And it sure looked like last night Gonzaga looked like the team that had gassed themselves in a win for the ages. And Baylor looked like the team that was sitting in a rocking chair on that night because they'd already boat raced Houston. And they looked like a team that had sat in the rocking chair and it was wondering, why not us? Why is everybody focused on them? I know they haven't lost. They looked like that team that was like, we'll show everybody. And they showed everybody. Congratulations to Scott Drew. I love this kid, Jared Butler. Does he play basketball just beautifully? His jump shot is gorgeous. His stroke from the free throw line is perfect. He's built like the old, brick, what house. Actually, all of Baylor, everybody on Baylor is.
Team, man.
Boy, they hit the weight room.
They look like they're ready for WrestleMania.
Congrats to their strength and conditioning team. I mean, all of it. All of it. Mea culpa on behalf of everybody that overlooked this 1 seed. They were far and away, head and shoulders above everyone else. And Gonzaga had a terrific season. They have a terrific team. They had a run for the ages of their own. And they could easily say, we got gassed on Saturday night, played in overtime, could have even played in a double overtime, and they just couldn't get up for it again. I know yesterday, Chris, you were joking after I said I'm wondering if they're going to take some time to get their sea legs, get their footing. And you said, you mean bet the first half Baylor? And I'm like, I turned into my usual NFL employee, unfrozen caveman lawyer. Like, I don't understand what you're talking about.
I hope a lot of you did that out there.
Did you do it?
I did not.
Oh, boy.
Oh, sadly.
Oh, boy. Because even with Gonzaga making a nice run, they made a 9-2 run to close the half to make it a 10-point game. They even got it down to 9 at one point, and that's when Baylor said, yeah, that's a nice run out of you.
Yeah,
I mean, you take a look at the screen right here, the photograph that we have of, the team hugging it out. I mean, Timmy looks wiped.
Yeah, they just look exhausted.
Timmy looked wiped out. There was none of the Timmy chest thumping.
Yeah, flexing,
touching the mustache thing. Yeah, there was none of that last night.
Nope.
None of that. Baylor just hit him in the mouth. And in the same way that I frequently mention that, when you're the team that bounces you from the NCAA tournament, you want to see them win it all, and you want to see them go on, so it makes it seem like, hey, we lost the team that won it all.
We lost to the champs.
I was going back and forth with a couple friends of mine watching this game last night from Michigan. And my son, Coop, said it the best this morning when he woke up. Literally one of the first things he said to me before coming to work today, he goes, Dad, I don't think Michigan would have beaten Baylor. I'm like, you know what, Cooper?
You're right.
You are
correct, sir.
You are correct. Yes. Yes, you are correct. Yeah. I think Baylor would have taken anybody.
I think you're right.
I think Baylor would have taken absolutely anybody. If UCLA had somehow won that game, I think that they would have.
And you mentioned it, Rich. The season became about Gonzaga and could they finish the perfect season. But before Baylor had its year kind of shut down for a second, they were the best team in college basketball. And they really showed it, during this 6-game run to the championship. Congrats to them.
Yeah.
What a performance.
And then, much is made also of what Scott Drew built. I mean, you can't even term what Scott Drew took over in Baylor in the early aughts as anything. Even a dumpster fire doesn't even do
that's being polite.
It justice. Yeah. Just everybody Google the name Dave Bliss and what was going on at Baylor. And for Scott Drew to say, okay, I'll come from the state of Indiana, go to Texas, and then show up and talking about we're talking about winning NCAA tournament games. They showed that piece of video of his introductory press conference from 2003 up there saying, hey, we're here to win championships. And that was everybody say, okay, yeah, gotcha. Right. They were on probation for the rest of the aughts. 2010 is when they came out of probation, right?
Yeah.
So, again, congratulations to them. That is, they deserve all the kudos that is coming their way, that normally comes your way for winning a national championship. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.